DeVille, for the time of your life.
In the next half hour, Weather Center, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Things are shaping up to be a bit of a wet and troublesome weekend for many areas in the east. Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of Weather Center. I'm Lisa Moser.
And I'm Jill Brown. We have two systems kind of sandwiching the mid-Atlantic and places like Philadelphia and New York City. You're going to get caught in between and get some rain. And we're already seeing that rain come into the nation's capital, where earlier in the day, skies were overcast, looked like a nice quiet morning, not too cold, and folks took the opportunity to outrun the rain and get outside and enjoy things a little bit. Some folks even got in a little bit of early morning rowing. But there are showers in the area right now, and we may end up seeing a few thunderstorms this afternoon. They're starting to intensify a little bit in some areas. I'll tell you where we have at least one warning right now in a moment, but this isn't the spot. This is just rain for you. And it's pretty steady rain, perhaps kind of heavy on Interstate 95 and heading west to Interstate 81. You'll be in the rain most of the time. Again, Philadelphia looks like the lighter rain is moving in right now. Again, we told you we have basically two separate systems. We have an area of low pressure along the coast that's going to continue moving northward. That brings the rain into New York City, Hartford, and then probably Boston later this evening. We have another area of low pressure farther inland that covers a lot more ground, and this is spinning this band up through Washington, so sort of sandwiched in between. You're going to end up getting it in Philadelphia from one side or the other, and New York City. We definitely think you're going to get more rain here. If you look at the overall picture, 1, 2, 3 areas of low pressure, not to mention this next storm system, which Lisa will show you, and that comes through during the weekend, which just means more of the same. Not all day rain for a lot of folks, but certainly scattered showers, maybe a few thunder showers here and there. We don't foresee a lot of severe weather today or even going into the weekend, but I'm sure you'd like to see sunny skies and no more of this. It's been a very wet month. From Cleveland to Cincinnati. Now it's May, of course, but more of the same. April, we had a lot of heavy rain. We had a lot of thunderstorms. And at this rate, it looks like this storm system will be hanging around through this evening and into tomorrow. Next storm system catches up with it before you really get much of a break. So for the moment, Cincinnati, you're dry. Heading up toward Columbus, you'll be in rain most of the way, and Cleveland is just about to get rained on. Indianapolis, you are in the dry spot. St. Louis, this band's been coming in. Looks like it'll sink to the south, and you may get a little bit of drier weather with time. Lightning detection data does show, first off, a few thunderstorms in the west. Lisa will tell you more about what's going on here. But in the east, the white, by the way, indicates the most recent lightning strikes. And we do have some recent thunder and lightning coming out of storms around St. Louis, in western Virginia and North Carolina, and then down into Florida, where we have some actually severe thunderstorms coming toward the Keys. A pilot has reported seeing 3 waterspouts with these thunderstorms that aren't quite into the Keys yet. We do not think we'll see a lot of severe weather. That's why we have orange on the map instead of the red. But as we get a couple of reports here and there, we'll pass them right on to you. Behind our cold front, we've seen a few thunderstorms developing here in Alabama. That might seem a little odd, but there's some colder air in the upper atmosphere that's following the sort of the clearing trend behind the front. So we do have a few thunderstorms here, and you can see that cluster very nicely headed for Florida. Centerville, you have the main thunderstorm, it looks like. Some rain around Birmingham and following Interstate 20 right over to the Georgia border. Into South Florida, here you can see a pretty big cluster of thunderstorms. These look intense. They're heading to the east, so if you're traveling out toward the Keys, watch for this main cluster to come in and bring you heavy rain, and not to mention these thunderstorms that are stuck between the Keys and South Florida. So we will have some fairly strong thunderstorms to contend with here. If we get severe weather reports, again, we'll pass them on to you, but be prepared for, at the very least, wet roadways. And that's true up here into Fort Myers with just a little more time. Lisa?
Too much wet weather, Jill. An area of low pressure in the upper plains is the next system that will bring that parade of showers in the forecast for the east in the coming days. Let me show you what I'm talking about. But first, let's take a look at the record high temperatures. Yesterday, temperatures above 90 degrees in a few areas, and we set some records like an all-time warm temperature for April. We set that for Portland, Oregon at the airport. Yakima, Washington, 87. That was a tie. Boise, Idaho, 84. Just to name a few. Looking at the satellite picture immediately, you probably want to focus in on the low pressure area out here to the Pacific. This system is going to sit here for a little while. As it sits there, occasionally it'll just kind of shoot out a few little pieces of energy, and it'll spread the scattered showers a little further inland. So Eureka, you won't be by yourself. The showers are expected to reach as far east as Chico this afternoon, and by tonight we'll be looking at more of those showers from this system pull into the high country of Nevada and Utah. You'll also notice a frontal boundary with our low pressure area out here in the plains. Now this low pressure area had quite a bit of colder air moving in behind it, so Minot, we got some snow on the ground. It's been mixed this past couple of hours with rain and snow. It does look like eventually all of this is just going to turn over to rain. Don't look for any accumulation, but early this morning we actually saw some snow on the ground. As the frontal boundary continues to push a little further to the south, Denver will be in for additional showers and a few thunderstorms, and I'll tell you more about that. But first stop, let's take a look at the regional radar. You'll notice immediately there's circulation around our low pressure area out around Minot. Again, much of this is rain showers, but in the last hour occasionally we did see some rain mixed with a little snow, but we're not looking for accumulation. The frontal boundary draping from International Falls down to Sioux Falls. We just don't have a lot of moisture working into this system, so the showers will continue to be just that, showers, scattered light to moderate showers. Much of the moisture has been robbed away from this mechanism because it's all in that system that Jill's been briefing us on over the Ohio Valley and the east. Out to the west.
This is